Hey, I'm Michael. I've got a doctorate in music, and that means my opinion is worth more than yours.
Bloop boop boo. Bloop doop doo. Bloop doop da boo.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Obviously, these are just my opinions. I want to go through my top 10 albums of 2024. I'll also have a couple honorable mentions in there. What I say often about why I like the art I like, I say that it's because it either makes me think or it makes me feel. The best art often does both, but it doesn't need to do both for me to like it. Looking through my top albums of this year, it's a mixture of both of those things, and I like that. This is a indie synth pop album, like a silly, campy, dark pop album in a really fun way. So in that silly campiness, there's some Kate Bushisms, especially in Allie's vocalisms. She doesn't really sound like Kate Bush herself. Her voice doesn't sound like it, but she seems to be treating the music in a similar way that Kate Bush might. And Allie's voice is so great, especially when she jumps the octave, which she does in a bunch of songs. If you've never heard any of her stuff before, I would start with the track Off With Her Tits. Idols are a British rock band, and the point of this album was for us to dance and not think. And I think they're pretty successful in that. But when you pay attention to the lyrics, a lot of the songs are about things like loving your daughter, or loving your best buddies, or loving to dance, and also hating the monarchy. It's fun to hear all of these sentiments come through in, music that makes you want to move, but it's also pretty hard edged. It's not super hard, but pretty hard rock band that sort of like comes out of post-punk, I guess. I'm not good at all of those labels. If you are, let me know. If you haven't heard anything from this album, I would check out Dancer. Brittany Howard is a rock singer-songwriter. As I've talked about on the channel before, she's most known as the former lead singer and guitarist of Alabama Shakes, but this is, I think, her second solo album now, and it's very good. It's got a cool mix of chill and experimental, and there are some songs where she sounds a little bit like Prince, which is a very good thing, and there are times when the song sounds a little Radiohead-ish, which is also a compliment. If you want to check one out, I would check out Power to Undo. Oh, and links for all of these in the description, by the way. Adrienne Lenker is a folksy singer-songwriter who is also known first as the lead singer of a band. She's the lead singer of Big Thief. I like how this album, a lot of it feels like you're just hanging out, sitting in a room with Adrienne, and she's playing her guitar and singing this song just for you. I like how at times it's quasi-improvisatory, but a lot of the songs are just sweet and beautiful. But also sometimes the songs are deep and meaningful and really potent. I would start with Ruined. Willie Carlisle is a folk country singer-songwriter that Molly and I have talked about on the channel a lot. We're both pretty obsessed with him. This is a pretty emotional album, but I will say that only 7 out of the 10 songs made me cry. A lot of this album is about death, but it is about death in a beautiful and hopeful way. It's sort of like that idea of death is an ending, but endings are good places to have a new beginning after that. I think that transcendence comes through in a lot of these songs. If you haven't heard any of them, I would start with When the Pills Wear Off. Mount Eerie is an experimental lo-fi singer-songwriter who's been doing this for a long time. This is a large album with a lot of different sub-styles represented. Sometimes it's atmospheric, sometimes it's almost sort of like musique concrète, sometimes it's almost a punky thrasher. There's a lot of good stuff in this. I really love Phil, who is Mount Eerie, the way he writes lyrics. His lyrics are so beautiful and thought-provoking. His songs handle some deep things like the futility of attempting to capture impermanent beauty in a poem. I also, in this album, love his use of static and distortion as a storytelling device. Sometimes these help fill out the world of the song that is started in the lyrics. If you haven't heard anything from this album, I would start with Huge Fire and groove out to that cool bass line. Another Sky is an English progressive rock band. Katrin, the lead singer's voice, is the main standout on this album. A lot of these songs are good even without her voice, but If you take her interesting, haunting voice into account, the songs really are bumped up to something kind of extraordinary. They will catch your attention really quickly and they will hold it. If you have not heard anything from this album, I would start with The Pain, which was my most listened track this year. Charlie Bliss is a power pop band from Brooklyn. The songs on this album are largely about love, but they come at it from different angles. Sometimes it's putting yourself in a 19-year-old shoes and remembering what it's like to be an emotional 19-year-old going through young love. Sometimes the songs are really touching songs about love for your partner. Sometimes it's about the insecurity that you sometimes feel that might hamper your relationship and that you're trying to work through to make your relationship with your partner better. And sometimes the songs are just love songs to your bandmates. This album came out at the right time in the year for me, and I fell in love with basically every song, but I want to highly recommend you check out Calling You Out. Laura Marling is an English singer-songwriter. I've been obsessed with her since her 2013 album, Once I Was an Eagle, one of my all-time top favorites. This album is very calm and gentle, and as I talked about in our Comfort Media video, link in the description, it really helped me through the tumultuous November that a lot of us felt. A lot of these songs are about motherhood because Laura is a new mother, and it's really beautiful to hear that style shift. It's pretty small, but it's interesting to have that maternal energy in a song. I especially really love the connection to the song Breathe from Once I Was an Eagle in Patterns in Repeat, which is the song that I think you should check out first. Before we get to the number one track, I wanted to ask you to subscribe to the channel, please. I hope you are enjoying this. My friends and I chat about music and video games mostly, but we chat about other stuff too. We are largely retro-focused, but we're going chronologically through media that we want to cover. We just started our 1993 coverage, so a lot of stuff from 1993 will be coming up in music and video games and movies and TV. Also, before we get into number one, I wanted to go through my honorable mentions. I've got 4 honorable mentions that I'm going to give to you in alphabetical order by album title. I haven't looked at many best of lists yet this year, but I'm sure this is on a lot of them somewhere. This is a really good hip hop album. I'm not really super familiar with rap and hip hop in general, but this is just something that really connects with me, as Tyler's music often does. I fell in love with Tyler's music after he released Igor, and this one sort of seems to follow up in that vein. This album kind of follows a progression from selfishness to selflessness, and a lot of it is a connection to legacy and whether or not Tyler wants to have children, which I think is a really interesting thing to talk about in a rap album. I like especially that the album ends with the piece of not having an answer just yet. If you haven't heard any of the songs from this album, I would recommend you start with Hey Jane. To me, that's the point where the tracks really click from just being fun and party songs to being really introspective in a cool way. This is another one that's going to show up on a lot of lists, I'm sure. I've always thought she was talented, but this is the first full album of hers that I thought was really brilliant. Her songwriting style and Phineas's production work together so well, especially on this album where she gets to sort of mix the styles up a little bit more than she had before. Some of the newer sounds are a little bit happier. She gets to sing a little more full voice. She gets to belt a little bit, which is fun. A lot of these songs are just more fun than a lot of her songs had been in the past, but she does still have some songs that sound like they could be from her early music. And I mean that in a good way. I don't know how you could have missed any of these songs, but I would recommend you check out Lunch if you haven't heard that yet. Apologies, I don't speak Spanish, so I may be pronouncing things incorrectly. This is one that I'm sure won't be on as many lists, but it's really good. This is a Colombian experimental dance band. It's wild, it's goofy, and from what I can tell from the little bit of Spanish that I know, the lyrics seem pretty progressive in a fun way. And again, apologies for mispronouncing this potentially, but the song that I think you should check out first is En el Caribe Estoy Triste. Michelle is an indie pop band, and this is maybe the most bisexual album that I know of from 2024. Michelle is a 6-piece group. A lot of the songs have different members singing about loving different people, and it's really fun how that all works in this album. These are just some chill, simple pop songs that'll make you feel good most of the time. I would check out Unz if you don't know any of them. You knew it was coming, right? I had a brat summer like everyone else, but I mean, my brat summer mostly meant sitting on my couch and not going outside because I hate being warm. I got swept up in all of the memes and all the fun with Brat that everyone was having. If for some reason you don't know Charlie XCX, she is a singer-songwriter most known for her work in the hyperpop genre. This album is kind of the smartest dumb music, or the dumbest smart music. I love the production on this album. And it all just gives me so much life. It makes me feel powerful to listen to these songs. It makes me want to be with my friends and dancing, even though I can't dance. I'm such a bad dancer. Maybe this is not a technically perfect album, but the zeitgeist and the emotional moment for me made it perfect, basically. And it might be an all-timer for me for that reason. Again, if you have somehow missed any of these songs, I would recommend you start with Von Dutch. I love the growling synths in it. It's so good. All right, that's about it for me. Please give this album a like if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to check out more of our stuff. And let me know what you think of all these albums, or what your top albums of the year are in the comments. I'd love to read about it. I'd love to have you teach me some new things. Check out another video that YouTube thinks you might like, and a playlist for more music talk. That should be about it. Maintain your groovy selves.